We're back with Scott's part 2, and we're going to have a segment now here. He's going to tell us what he's seeing here in Atlanta versus what he's seen in New York, and what, more importantly, what Atlanta could probably do to get a little bit more spotlight on itself, a little bit more organization, a little bit more process to help it garner the same national movement we've seen in Portland, D.C., Chicago, even places like Cleveland. And Atlanta's far larger than Cleveland. Go ahead, Scott.
So on the differences I've seen, part of it is the crowd size in New York is much larger. I'm not sure that people know that there's an Occupy Atlanta going on, frankly. I mean, even the New York one is horribly underrepresented in the local area, so I assume that it's the same here. So with that smaller crowd size comes less of an immediate need to organize really strictly. So in New York, that's what a lot of the focus is on, is trying to get that infrastructure into place. I haven't really talked to anybody in kind of the organization circle here, but you know, at least from what I've seen, this is a tad more piecemeal. But New York is specifically trying to not be a template for everyone else. We've made plenty of mistakes up there that people should learn from, and people outside of Atlanta probably have either better ideas for some things, or you know, have things that would work better for them and what they want. So if Atlanta wants to present a set of demands that represent this group, then you know, everyone else should encourage them to do so. If they don't, then that should be awesome too. But you know, right now, you know, what I'm seeing a great movement still. I'm seeing the same underlying message of, you know, not picking one or two things as major issues and running with that, because that way everything falls apart once someone promises to work on that issue. You know, the whole movement just goes away and fizzles out. What we're trying to do is to create a sustained group that can then force action on whatever the group then decides. But right now we're trying to get the infrastructure in place to really make this become a movement with weight behind it, with legs that can really...
So we're not going to focus on one or two particular issues, i.e. like the Tea Party was on less government, lower my taxes. You're just trying to build a movement where it's gaining recognition and backing, and everybody's involved, and we'll worry about the details later on once we've got a numerical number of interest.
Right, exactly. Once we can build this support and have that groundswell, then we can talk to people and see, you know, what is it that matters to you? What are you seeing that we could change? You know, I mean, I've seen, up in New York, I've seen every opinion expressed, anywhere from libertarian values to that there should be a cap on personal wealth. You know, I mean, I've literally seen everything, and despite what you believe in, what this movement is trying to do is just bring together like-minded individuals that think that something has to change. And from there, we just want to create a space where people can present and debate ideas, no matter how unpopular.
So we're trying to take and make this a democracy of the people to open a, you know, we're going to call it Congress. We're going to make our own Congress by the whole nation building of everybody talking and working together.
Sure, if that's what you want to call it. I would love to see a dialogue open at every level of government about waste, about, I mean, just everything, you know, and just drag all of these issues that need to be aired out in the open.
So tomorrow is supposed to be the deadline for Kasim Reed, the mayor of Atlanta, to tell the occupiers here in Atlanta, basically you have to go home. You can't sleep here overnight, so forth and so on. Wouldn't one of the logical things be, okay, let's leave at 6 o'clock, at least, excuse me, leave at 11 o'clock at night when the park closes, come back at 6 when it reopens, do your Occupy, organize some more protests, get permits to be able to march and protest in certain areas?
I mean, that's an option.
It's working within the system that's already set up, and you're going to take the rules of the system and use the system against the people you want to work against, correct?
I've heard that argument tons of times. I've also heard the argument that this is not a picnic, this is an occupation. You know, you can land on whichever side of the fence there you want. You know, I don't really have a...
You're indifferent on that one. As long as something is done.
As long as something is done, as long as people are happy about it and are working towards what they would like to see accomplished, then you know, however they do it is a good way to do it.
Okay, last few questions. Are you registered to vote?
I am.
Okay, not going to get into a political aisle, so to speak, but you will not sit on the sideline and pick, or are you going to pick somebody? What's your thought process?
I will probably pick somebody, but I'd like to see this grow into something to where we can, you know, we can elect our own candidate.
So remove
like that.
remove the electoral college. Just say everybody goes somewhere. We all pick a button, and whoever wins 50+1 is our person, so to speak.
I don't have a problem with that, certainly.
Okay, that's an interesting thought. There's a lot of that talk going around. That might be a little tough, but
I mean, and the electoral college was put in place because the founding fathers still didn't trust the people.
Didn't trust the children.
Yeah.
And we're still having some trouble trusting the children today.
Absolutely. And you know, I mean, those fears aren't entirely unfounded either. So there's a lot of issues to work towards, but that's the type of thing that we need to bring out in the open and have frank and honest discussions on.
All right, Scott, tell us your full name again.
Scott Simpson.
We appreciate you, Scott, coming here to do this interview. Please keep up trying to help make a difference in the world.
Yeah, and what's your website again?
It is Dunk, a Tea Party Bag on Facebook. Please come here and check it out. Scott's going to check it out. We can all get out the message. You know, it's all about making a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.